know you, my first question would be, do you make these stories up?
No, they accepted this proposal.
I guess it's a measure of how much they really don't like Trump, isn't it?
Long form.
So somehow we are now living in a state, in a community where the media doesn't want a sheriff meeting with federal law enforcement officials just for a meet and greet, which is what Keith Swank, the sheriff of Pierce County, did with ICE. They had a new ICE director who came to this position, and he simply wanted to say hello, introduce himself. And now Keith Swank, of course, is facing renewed scrutiny from not just the media, but apparently former Survivor contestant, Attorney General Nick Brown. Joining me on the line is Sheriff Swank. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So this is kind of wild. Of all the things that I, have seen them scrutinize you over, I can certainly understand when they don't like something you say. Like, I get it. But explain to me this latest issue. You had a meet and greet, and apparently that's wrong.
Yeah, I had a meet and greet in April, I think, with the ICE director. I didn't even know where the facility was because I just worked in Seattle for 33 years. I didn't even know my way around Tacoma. So I actually wanted to see where the facility was, meet the director there, and chit-chat and just have a, meet and greet because we might end up having to go down there to handle protests or something like that. So that was about all it was about. A few minutes there, said hello, met some people that worked there, and that was it.
Now, obviously, the context in which there's some scrutiny here is that in the past you have indicated that you would work with ICE on enforcement of immigration. At the same time, you've also said pretty clearly, not just here, but everywhere you've done your interviews, that you're not going to break any law. You're just trying to see if there are options essentially available to legally work with ICE. Is that a fair assessment?
Right. And the other part is I don't want to jeopardize my deputies for any legal things that happen, a lawsuit filed against them by the attorney general, the bully. So I just don't want to jeopardize that with them. If I could handle it all myself, then I would enter into an agreement with them just to make this thing go to the U.S. Supreme Court if I could, but I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize the men and women of Pierce County Sheriff's Office.
Now, it's interesting because this Tacoma News Tribune story that was published this morning indicates that you've drawn the attention of the state attorney general, except if you actually read the story, they don't back that up anywhere that I can see, at least.
I know.
Like, they don't even mention Nick Brown in the article, so I'm not entirely sure where that's coming from. But to your knowledge, has the attorney general actually expressed concern here?
Somebody from the attorney general's office put in a public disclosure request, I don't know, months ago, weeks ago, wanting to know about any communications I had with anybody from ICE. I think from anybody from the whole Trump administration or anybody associated with it and federal agencies or anything like that. So I think that happened a few weeks ago or months or so ago.
Okay, and that's how they found out.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess so many of those, so it's hard to tell when it was. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
So, I guess it means they're keeping tabs on you, I suppose. But it sounds more like they're looking for a way to come after you. Is that how you take it?
Yes, that's how I take it. I think they're looking for a way to come after me. They're, hoping I did something so they can say I violated the Keep Washington Working Act, which is the Keep Violent Illegal Aliens in Our Community Act. And so, I haven't done anything to violate that. I'm thinking about it, but I haven't done anything yet.
Well, and the whole idea of having a meeting is not a violation or even reason to believe a violation of the sanctuary state policy occurred. I imagine the federal government and state governmental officials meet or communicate fairly often, regardless of whether it's ICE or not.
Well, yeah, normally they do, but I have a county executive that issued an executive order that says we're not allowed to enter into any agreements or MOAs, memorandums of agreement, or understanding with any federal agency without his permission. So normally cops work with law enforcement from the federal government.
How did that meeting go?
Yeah. Well, it was just a hello, get to know each other, and that was it. I don't even really remember anything specific out of it other than my name's Keith, your name's Cam, good to meet you, and if you need anything, get a hold of me, sort of thing. So that was
Okay.
it.
Have they gotten a hold of you since?
No, they haven't. Well, I think maybe I had a phone call with her once, but yeah, nothing. It was more like just like, oh hi, just saying hello again. Because I'm new to being the sheriff of Pierce County. She's new to down there, so I just wanted to get to meet her and her to meet me. That was it.
Sheriff
Put the
Keith,
name and face together.
Sheriff Keith Swank of Pierce County joining me on the line. At the same time, we broke a story last week where the only local coverage of this, Fox News has since picked it up, but suspiciously everyone else seems to be quiet about Jerry Espana de Villa, who illegally entered this country at least 5 times. He's been deported or removed 4 times. He was just convicted of a murder just a few weeks ago. The jury came back with its decision. The sentencing is going to happen, I believe, on October 3rd. When you see these kinds of stories, know that they are all too common and represent crimes that did not have to occur. What goes through your head as it relates to the sanctuary status policy?
That's exactly it. I mean, if we got rid of illegal alien criminals, we would make our community safer. And so when I see the administration, the Ferguson administration doubling down on fighting against common sense law enforcement, it's just ridiculous, and it's making our communities less safe.
So what can happen as a result of this? Do you think there's a reason why these kinds of stories are just not getting covered?
Yeah, I think that's the reason why it's not getting covered. I mean, you're covering it. People like you are covering them, but the mainstream media is not covering it, and they don't want people to know, the community to know about this, what's going on in our communities. And so we put it out there, let people know about it. So I want the community to know in Pierce County that we have illegal aliens there, and some of them are violent, and we need to get them off the streets. And I wanted them to know about it, and I believe the majority of people agree with me.
Yeah, no, clearly the majority of people agree with you. Just looking at polling makes it pretty clear. There's no question as it relates to obviously dangerous criminal illegal immigrants. At the same time, obviously, we're still all thinking about, and it still seems so surreal that Charlie Kirk was assassinated last week. There was a report yesterday we talked about at SeattleRed.com, this assassination culture that is permeating amongst progressives, not amongst Democrats per se, but amongst the progressive base of the Democratic Party. How worried are you that we will see more of the left-wing violence in Western Washington due to all sorts of reasons? You can start by saying, Democrats seem to justify or ignore it, and same thing with some media outlets.
Yeah, I'm concerned about it myself personally. I already have. They've referred to it at my office, kind of jokingly, as the Sheriff Swank Chaperone Program. But in all seriousness, I've been having deputies show up at my community meetings and other community events I have because I've had people threaten to harm me, and I'm not so worried so much about me not being able to defend myself. I'm more worried about like other people at a community meeting getting injured or hurt, with somebody acting out and acting crazy. I had somebody in my neighborhood looking for me one time, and then he went back to the precinct and said, I know where Sheriff Swank lives, and he had crazy looking eyes, right? So I don't know what that means, but I think it means that he's, scoping me out, trying to find me. And so I'm concerned about it. Personally, my wife is too. Personally, we're always got our head on a swivel, looking around and making sure that people in the neighborhood, belong there, or if they don't, we'll maybe call 911 if need be.
Do you think that's going to change after the Charlie Kirk assassination, or does it seem like we're just continuously heading in the wrong direction?
Oh, I think that we are heading in the wrong direction in Washington State. Anyhow, I think that we're continuing that way. It's tragic. I hope that maybe something changes, that I'm wrong, but I think we're going the wrong way continuously. Maybe not nationwide, but in Washington, which is where you and I live. I'm the sheriff of Pierce County, so I'm concerned about it. Yes.
Yeah, it's a concerning time. There's no doubt, and that's not to say we don't have right-wing violence. We certainly do, but the cultural issue of accepting the violence seems to just permeate amongst the left. We've been talking with Sheriff Keith Swank of Pierce County. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Jason Rantz Show. Rand Paul takes on the now former CDC director in a tense exchange. We'll have this unbelievable audio when we come back on the Jason Rantz Show on Seattle Red.